Hi, my name is Yona. I'm the after school leader at Field Teen Center, and today I'm going to talk about Juliet Takes a Breath by Gabby Rivera, which I read as an ebook, but also exists as a graphic novel, which makes a lot of sense because Gabby Rivera has worked in comics, including America from Marvel. So Juliet Palante is a 19-year-old Puerto Rican girl living in the Bronx, and she's about to head out to Portland, Oregon for the first time in her life because she's landed herself an internship with the Harlow Brisbane, who is a famous feminist, author, and lesbian. And she wrote the book Pussy Power that blew Juliet's mind, totally changed her life, and has gotten her really excited about feminism and about exploring what it means to be queer. So she's decided that she needs to tell her family that she's a lesbian before she leaves on this trip. And in some ways it goes all right, but unfortunately it ends with her mom not speaking to her. So she's a couple hours later sitting in the airport being stressed about maybe never talking to her mom again and wondering why her girlfriend is not responding to her calls and texts and waiting to be picked up by Harlow Brisbane, who she's never met in her life. This is a story about Juliet exploring what it means to be queer, what it means to be a brown girl in white spaces, how she can make those two worlds mesh, and how to find her own voice and speak up for herself. Obviously, from the title, breathing is a really big theme in this story. Not only does she have trouble creating spaces for herself or finding spaces for herself to exist and be relaxed and be calm and not anxious, worrying about what people think about her and how she's being perceived, she also has asthma. And one of the things that really struck me about our very first introduction to Harlow, Harlow is very airy-fairy. She believes in fairies, and she cares a lot about the cycles of the moon and the horoscope and getting in touch with your inner womanly self, all these things. And as she's driving Juliet to her house, she's rolling up this, hand-rolled organic tobacco cigarette and smoking right next to Juliet, who has asthma. And that theme really carries through in the ways that Harlow is, sometimes very helpful to Juliet and definitely cares and wants to nurture her and, have period ceremonies for her and draw her a lavender bath to relax her cramps, all this stuff. She's also really toxic for Juliet in a lot of other ways. So this is obviously a story about queerness, but I think it's even more so a story about race and unpacking what it means and doesn't mean to be an ally. Harlow is very white and in a lot of ways is not aware of how Juliet's experiences are different from hers and what she might need, partly because she has trouble asking. So that's definitely something to watch. And I think it's handled really well. I did not think I would like Harlow in this story. She's just not my kind of person, but she's handled in a really realistic way. She feels like a real person and she feels like she does care even though she's fallible. Juliet is a treasure. She's definitely learning a lot of new things. Her family keeps getting Portland confused with Indiana because it's that far away and that foreign to them. So there's a lot that she doesn't know, but she's not stupid. Even though she doesn't know things, she's really good at asking questions. She's good at making connections. She's there to do research and she gets it done. And she finds out about a lot of really cool women that inspire her and get her in touch with other communities in Portland and with her own family in new ways. I think one of my favorite moments in the story is when she reconnects with a cousin and her aunt, and she learns some things about her auntie's history before she got married that is really interesting to her. And I will leave that as something to be discovered when you read it. This was a book, I was reading it in the car on the way to a hike with some friends, and I kept oh no, and reacting out loud because I couldn't help it. It was just so good. It's really a very simple story about coming of age in a lot of ways, but the writing is really nice. The characters are dynamic and they feel like people that you might know in real life and would want to know in real life. These are people that I would absolutely love to get a hug from. So if you have read this book, let me know what you think about it. You can leave us a comment. You can get in touch with us through our email, which I will put in the description. And we're also on Instagram. You can DM us and we would love to hear from you.